Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hi, my name is Sharifa, and you have stopped by the Midyear Review, where we talk about books, planning, creative journaling, and just all the things. So today, I come to you with my half year setup. Now, this is not my planning setup, but this is going to help me be productive in planning. These are my goal journals and my learning journals. So let's talk about it. So, in the beginning of the year, I did set up like a goal journal. Two things I didn't do. I did not keep up with that goal journal because the goal was to incorporate it inside my bigger journal, but I didn't do it. However, the half year is a year for us to reset. And so that's what we're getting ready to do. So today I want to walk you through how I have my journals and my planners set up and what are they used for. So we have my learning journal. It's a 12-week learning journal. And we have my life goal setting journal. Now, this is supposed to last me 5 years. This is 2.5 years now. So we're in 2.5 years. And so this other one is my compendium. And this is fairly, very, very new. And I'm actually new to creating a compendium. So let's talk about goals. So for me, um, I'm setting on this journey to set lifelong healthy habits, not just intermediate goals, but something that's going to last me through the lifetime. And a lot of times that requires changing behaviors. A lot of times it requires changing people, how we talk, um, our environment, the whole thing. So, sometimes when I think about goal setting, I'm thinking that, okay, you know what, I want to achieve this goal and it's going to take XYZ. Well, really, it's this just me initiating the process to elevating my lifelong journey. So let's get into it. So, life goal setting journal. I'm going to change this up here, but this has nothing to do with this video. Let me give you guys a walkthrough. So I've never shown this planner in detail on my channel. So this is probably one of future walkthroughs because I really want to get into the process of reflecting and sharing how I do life goal setting for myself. So this is just a walkthrough. So that's my name page. And to let you know, I think about practicality, how often I would use it, and having it to be not just a third wheel, but like a primary function in my weekly planning. Um, so let me walk you through it real quick. This is my table of contents. So I have not used anything in my table of contents, and I'll just go back and backdate that. I always have a empty page in the front because if I immediately open, I probably have something that I don't want to share um, immediately, even when I'm out in public. And not that I don't, not that I take this out in public, but if I were to take it, like throw it in my bag and want to write notes, I just don't want to have it open. And I do all of my journals like this. And so this page, my pages, they're going to look empty, you guys, but I'm going to show you the purpose of it. This is what I call it's a method called a Kanban board, but this is what I call my pseudo-Kanban board. So this first row is my categories because I can have multiple categories, and then the purpose of what I'm doing and what is the goal of that purpose, the solution, time frame, what is the first step, what is the immediate next step, and what is the progress. And the reason why I put down progress is because that goes into more deeper thought and change your behavior. Be, behavior modifications. So this next page is a travel page. I don't show that one. And so what I normally do with this first part of this journal slash planner, is to use stickies and transfer them out to other places. So health and wellness goals, these are my 8 categories once again. And I will show you all 8 categories in a later date. But yeah, I use Sticky for that. This is just a page where I keep up with my furry family, my cat family. All of them have a slot. If one of them are sick, need a doctor's appointment, have an appointment coming up, I just put it here in a sticky tab. I have not, when I originally created this planner slash journal, we're going to call it a planner, last year, I had an idea of what I want to use. I want to use this for budgeting, but I never got into it. So it's just a free page right now. This is another one I call my Kanban board. This has been very helpful for me in the past. These are the weekdays, and then I put sticky tabs right here. I write the thing that I need to do, and then I kind of like, put stickers right there, the sticky notes right there, and then once the week is over, I do it over again, which has been very helpful. I'm going to do a really quick flip through because this, I have information from the previous year. So I'm not going to show you all this right here, but I will go to, these are goal pages that I had last year. This is for 2025. Now, this is still blank, and here's the reason why. I have a Sterling ink planner, and so I started writing a lot of my goals in there and in other notebooks, but I have not transferred it to my actual goal planner. So that is going to be my first assignment in setting up my half year goals. Now, this is for 2025. However, because we're in a half year, I can just color code my goals and use this for 2026, but we'll see how that turn out. When I do a follow-up flip through at the end of each month, which I plan on doing, you'll see how that turned out. And I always leave an extra page. So this is for 2025. This may be for 2026. And then we got 2027 and so on and so forth. I just have extra pages on productivity, self-awareness, and stuff like that. I'll show that at a later date. That's more personal than anything. But this is the one that I really wanted to share with you guys as well. This is my spring, my what I call my readiness page. So I broke this down into seasons and things I need to do before the spring and things I need to do in that season. And so this is ever changing. Once again, sticky notes, and then I transfer it over to my actual planner of my to-do list and things I need to do, which has been very helpful. And these are my goal pages, and I really don't want to show that on camera right now. This right here, I actually just created this page in my half year planner. I use an A4 just like this, but a different color. My house projects, I wrote them out in details. And so what I'm going to do is renew that and put it in here and write down the things that I did not complete. So it's kind of like a refresh. The beautiful thing about getting bullet journals, no matter what size it is that it's a blank canvas and you can create whatever you want, how you want it, use it as how often you would like it or not use it at all. But for me, I love to get the A4, which is kind of like a standard paper size notebooks. I'm just used to writing on standard paper size. I've gradually started using B5, which is a 7 by 10, but I still love my full sheets. Okay, so my resources, my books these are the books that I've read either physically or listened to on audio, and I wrote them right here as resources. So as time go by, that list is soon to grow. And so we have our research log. So my research log is something that I have not actively, excuse me, you guys. I have not actively used on a regular basis, but I've always had it. So let's go through this research log. The research log is the topic. What am I reading? What am I watching? What am I documenting? The date I started. And where do I place this? So, and the reason why I said that is because I have several other notebooks where I focus on single subjects. And so that's what this column is for. And then just a basic description of the research. So this is the hub. This is where all that research or information will be housed. And then I will put it in another notebook if it's necessary. And these are just note pages. So because I plan on using this long term, I have so many pages dedicated to notes. As I said, I have not been actively writing notes in this notebook, which I plan on doing that. But then I get to page 10 and then I do it all over again for the sake of just not knowing if I will run out of space on this particular sheet to document um, necessary information. So this is what this section is for. And the beautiful thing about setting your own goal planner is that you can set the goals for however long you want. You don't have to go out and purchase goal products yearly, although you can use them as a means to help you move along, because some of the goal planners that they have, they are definitely set to give you timelines. You guys excuse me, I'm drinking my coffee and I have ice in it and it's so good. um, However, lifelong goal planning is, for me, more about changing habits. So we're going to get into some categories. So internal wellness. And so um, this is a not a touchy subject, but I would like to get into like all of these subjects in more in depth. I am on a journey of creating my own herbs, and so um, I have a herb book. I don't have it's not in here, but I do write down herbs, and what are the healing properties of them. So that's what this section for. And when we talk about internal, a lot of people think that internal wellness means, drinking water. Oh, make sure I'm eating healthy. Internal is so much thing. It is the inner being of who you are. And so internal can be the peace that you bring to yourself, the people that you are choosing to engage with, the careers and how we handle them, the community, family. So internal is a lot of things. But getting off of that, this page is just laid out for that. I'm excited because I've been following a couple of herbalists on YouTube, and I have like a slew of herbal books. So I'm excited to get into that. And so hopefully I'll be able to share with you guys something in the future on that. And when we talk about physical wellness, when I talk about physical wellness, I'm not talking about going on a diet. I'm definitely talking about, I just realized I spelled weight wrong, but that's okay. It's just for me. I'm talking about, long-term fitness. I was an avid walker for the longest. Anybody who knows me, they know. Like, what is your secret? I always hear this. What is your secret to staying small? I'm like, well, there really is no secret. I just have been an avid walker all my life. Um, I live in the city, and sometimes I'll walk across town. And when I'm in I don't know, it's just and I love living by parks. So it always gave me an opportunity to walk the park multiple times. Like sometimes I would just walk when I had nothing to do for hours on end, walk from work, walk to work. I mean, walking it had become a rhythm of my life. So that was one way of me maintaining my basic weight standard for me. And then it goes to movement. Like, am I moving my body? I chose not to put exercise here because exercise sometimes it become an overused term. I prefer movement. An example is I was in my backyard and in my garden yesterday for 2 hours, and I definitely got a physical. I definitely got a workout. So is that not working now? That is actually definitely moving. That's actually movement. So physical environments and the conditions of those environments, and that goes back to my garden, right? How does that affect me emotionally and mentally? So yeah, we'll be talking about more on that. And then it's funny because we got into environmental wellness. Now, I'm not going to get much into this, but I will just say that I am a big proponent of recycling, reducing, composting, leaving less of a footprint as possible. Yeah. So the next one is financial. I do have a budget planner, so I have not wrote much in in this section. So hopefully in the future I will get to it, but I definitely have the pages, and then I just have these extra pages back here. So the beauty, once again, of having a notebook is the flip. Okay, y'all. So let's get into these trackers. So these life trackers, I have um, created a system of life trackers that's going to help me. So these life trackers are set in a quarterly basis. So we have the areas that I'm going to focus on. We have the days in which I track. So I'm tracking several things. So this is just one sheet, but I do have two more sheets to put on these two sheets right here. So this is for 1 quarter. So the quarter that we are in now is quarter 3. And so this may change, you know. And so as it changes, I can redo my life trackers. And due to the fact that I have, created a system that is working for me, we'll see how this works out. I'm enjoying it so far. So this is my progress tracker. And so I'm not finished with my progress tracker because I didn't put the questions down here, but I will walk you through this. So 8 categories. You may not use all 8 categories. However, you have 12 weeks and you have the total of how well you did. So out of 12, did you stay on course for 3 weeks? Did you stay on course for 6 weeks? What are your awards? And so that's what this space right here is going to be. The printout, the version that I will be scanning and giving to you guys will have all the information at the bottom. And then here's your total. And out of that total, what is your reward? Because in some cases, like say for instance, a weight goal. If your goal is to lose, say for instance, 20 pounds within 3 months, and you don't make that goal, but you get halfway there, do you have a reward for getting halfway to your goal? I think we should reward ourselves with every milestone that we have. And it doesn't have to be an expensive, a loud, celebratory thing. It can be, hey, you know what? I made it halfway to my milestone. I'm still going to work on this milestone, but I'm going to reward myself. And here's a small reward. It doesn't have to be financial. Like I said, it can be just about anything. All right. And so that is my goal planning system in this planner. And I've actually already started using it. I haven't marked it in here because I wanted to give you guys a good look of how this will work without any of the writing. So let's get into these other two items. So let's get into this one first. This is my learning journal. And my learning journal, I got this with the intentions to help me revamp a career in a certain angle. So I've been doing social service for many years. And when you say social service, it's such a vague term, but I love helping people. I love getting to the root of various causes, right? A lot of times our suffering comes from inequality. And so I am a big advocate for, those who are trying to get over their bridge to wellness. As you know, we all at some point in our lives are going to need people to assist us. So I'm just one of those type of people like, hey, I wouldn't say it was my calling, purpose. It's just that something that drives me forward in helping humanity. All right, so I want to walk you guys through this. I'm going to put the link to my mid-year videos of the journals that I'm using, because I did give you all a walkthrough of this learning journal. But what I want to do in this video is give you an example of how I'm using it. So we're going to go to week 6. So in week 6, um, the way I'm using this and the way that everyone you use it how it best fits you, but I'm just sharing with you how I use it. So right here you have plans, and so you put the start date down, and then you write the things that you are looking to learn for that week. It could be one thing, it could be several things. I would not pressure myself in trying to overload myself in learning topics. Um, the learning sources. Where did you get it from? Did you get it from a person, conversations, video, books, film? You write it, you write down where you got it from, and then the day of the week that you discovered that entry. Now, how I've been using my explore section. And let me get back to this, piggyback to this. So it has a start date, starts on, ends by. Just because this is a 12-week learning tool, it doesn't have to end in the 12 weeks. It ends when you felt like you've gotten your answers in this learning objective. So I just want to make that clear. Um, Explore. So what I have done, I've used it as a mind map. So I have my bubble in the middle, and then I write down categories from the prior week that I opened up to explore. I have not gotten answers for. From that mind map on that explore page, I go to my next explore page. So hi everybody. So this is a continuance of um, my video. My camera shut off. To be honest with you, it shut off yesterday. So I'm continuing the video today. I had um, I was recording for a while. And so I guess this last video did not make it. So here I am. I find myself finishing this video. I think I left off where I was describing to you guys how I use my learning journal. So we'll get back to that. And so, sometimes when that happens, I'm able to immediately go back to it and record again. But I think because I was recording and I was working on, I did 2 other videos prior to that and did some uploading and, just the general of creating content. My time was up. Yeah. So I said, well, you know what? I'll get right back to it tomorrow. So it is really early in the morning, really early. And my son woke me up. As you can see, I got my gas station coffee. He woke me up, and he never wakes me up when he's on his way to work. And he asked me for a ride. So, of course, I was more than happy to do it for him. And so I dropped him off at their work really early. When I say early, I think I was probably on my last dream. So woke him up, took him to work because it was raining like the monsoon. So went ahead, got him on his way. One thing I would say about early morning, it is so peaceful outside. And if it wasn't raining and if I had like an awning or something to sit down outside, I would have stayed out there. I would have sat down and enjoyed my coffee. But I came into my house and enjoyed my coffee with my 6 cats. Yeah. Um, yeah. So what I'm getting ready to do is set this camera up again and finish this part of the video. And I will possibly talk to you face to face, either after this video or in another video. So, I mean, at the end of this video or another video. Y'all have to excuse me because I'm spending this time to get myself kind of prepped. I'm cutting my nails, so my hands will look different in the video. That's one way you would know that this is a totally, completely different clip. I'm cutting my nails. I used to be a big fan of my nails, like long nails, when I was younger. And I was able to function with them. I was able to type 100 words with them. I mean, like, when I say those long nails they wear now, mines were real. I mean, I didn't, and I know a lot of times it's what they call it. They have something over their nails to keep it strong, but I've always had long, strong, healthy nails. And so now that I do a lot of stuff with my hands, I love my nails being shorter. See, this is as far as I'll let it grow out. So this I just cut it. So that's as long as I will let my nails grow. And then when they get to that length, unfortunately, I have to cut them again. Well, it's not unfortunately, but I just cut them again. It just saves me so much time on having to worry about breaking my nails. And I kind of put like these little manicure gloves on them. Kind of give myself like a little manicure, and then I file them, and then I've read an article that it's not really good to push your cuticles back because it can infect the nail bed. So I've been kind of pulling away from doing that on a regular basis. Only when my nails, my hands, my cuticles look really bad. And a lot of times my cuticles don't really look all that bad to me. But today is a special occasion, so instead of me waiting to cut these a few days later, I need to get this nail prep done. So maybe it was good that I woke up a couple of hours earlier. Give me a chance to do some exercise and finish this video up for you guys so I can get this out and we can all go back to what we were doing. So I just thought I would drop in and yeah, let you all know that this is the second part of a video and the camera angle may shift. It may not look the same. So don't come for me. Let me finish this video and I will see you on the other end. Welcome back. So I'm on the other end of the camera now, and so I want to continue sharing with you guys my mid-year goal and learning objectives. So as I was saying prior to my camera shutting off and then not recording just now, I wanted to share with you all how I'm using the learning journal. And I think where I last left off was with let me see. I need to refresh my memory now. I left off on the explore page. So just let's review. I had put my car keys down there. I had just explained to you guys how I'm using the planning page and how the planning page can be used. Also, how I set up my mind map for my explore page. But then we got into the outline from the mind map. So once I do my mind map, I do a basic outline. And this is just something that's been helping me with my learning objectives. And then from those explorations, I write my notes during my research. So you have a couple of pages, 3-4 pages of that. And then they give you like little things to do, like this right here. Write down, grab 6 post-its and write down one key message on each and stick them to this page. There's always a method for why they are giving you these activities. I am 3 weeks in, so when I say that it is useful, it is definitely useful and reflective. Now, the one thing I did have an issue with, and this will be my, I guess, fourth time saying this, so hopefully this will stick on this recording, was that I am not a big fan of how invasive, like giving people, like say for instance, right here, it wants you to write a blog post, but it said, don't worry, it doesn't have to be long. 1 or 2 paragraphs would do. Choose a platform for your blog post. And so, for those of us who are not really big on like our social media presence, um, this may not be helpful. So hopefully, when they do another edition, they will reconsider this. So it's geared towards a particular audience. Now, the two media platforms, it doesn't say which one, but the ones that they name are Instagram and LinkedIn. And so this particular company, they do have presence on both of these platforms. So it would make sense to, ask you to write something on the platform and share with others, basically like a testimony. And basically that's what it is. So it's a good idea, but like I said, I wouldn't stress it. Write it down, write a picture, or a verbal testimony. It doesn't have to be exact. And then right here, you write it. You continue writing about your experiment for that week. And do a reflection right here. What key outcomes do you want to remember? Now, when I say, being all involved and following through on these assignments, they are very helpful because it kind of push you towards the next thing that you have to do. And right here, it says, alternatively, prepare a short story on the next page. You will find the examples of story structure. I would encourage, if you are serious about learning something new and making it stick, to do the learning objectives. You know why? Because if you are learning something new, and the best way to learn something, and if you have it, is to share it with other people. So if you're able to teach and share with other people, then you got it. And the clarity will come from when they are able to understand and replicate what you're sharing with them. So that is the gist of this learning journal from sponsored by Lundstrom. But the name of the company is I want to say Steer Clear. Let me double check. This is not to be fancy. Oh, right here. Start Clear. That's what it's called. Now, I did go to their social media page on both platforms, and so I don't know. I'm I'm I can't give you any clarity on it because it really doesn't even promote the learning journal, which confuses me. But yeah. This is a product sponsored, like I said, by Lundstrom, and Lundstrom have other productivity tools that are helpful. I'm thinking about starting one of them. I would say at the end of the year, but I'm not going to tell you guys which one. I will let you know when that time comes. But as of today, this learning journal has been very helpful for me. And it actually allows me to explore what I am trying to create. So let's recap. Let's go over what we talked about in this video. We talked about the learning journal, sponsored by Lundstrom. And then we talked about my life goal setting journal. And I gave you guys a full flip through front and back of how I'm using my lifestyle trackers, the 12-week quarterly trackers that I have, how I'm utilizing those. And then I also share with you guys my compendium, and how I'm using this as well. Although I haven't, oh, you guys, my cats are waking up now. um, I gave you guys, um, I share with you guys the purpose of this compendium. It actually is compatible with my learning journal. Um, and this is, start of a new journey for me, and it's been very helpful. Now, in terms of my compendium, I just dropped the pencil, you guys. In terms of my compendium, um, because this is something new for me, I don't feel confident enough to share with you guys yet. But once I get my bearings and I know exactly the information that I'm storing, I would definitely share with you guys on this channel, because learning is a lifelong process. You don't check out at the 12th grade. Like, we're always learning something, and I always want to keep my mind open to learning new things, and adapting where I need to. Not giving up my values, but just adapting where I need to, at that time in my life. So, in saying that, I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. I do want to thank you for stopping by. And if you have any questions, and if you want to know more about each of these systems, please let me know in the comments, and let's have this conversation. But I do have to ask, what are you using to help you in this midpoint of the year? Are you picking up new skills? Are you, reevaluating your planning systems, your goals? This is the time. Like, you can do it any time of the year, but that mid-year is that reflection point when you designate this thought that if I'm going to follow through on this goal, these are the things I need to do to get over, you know, to the finish line. Or let me look at it differently and kind of go at it from a different angle, or just put it to the side for another year, another day, or another month. So don't let me ramble on. I want to thank you. And thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me. Listen, if you are open to content like this, and if you want to know more about my mid-year or just my learning systems in general, let me know. I do want to do a full example of this learning journal. So what I may do is just download some sheets and walk you guys through an example. And this is not a paid sponsored situation, although it can be, you guys. But anyway, in saying that, thank you for stopping by. You have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and hopefully I will see you back soon.